welcome to Sunday morning breakfast. Today my three guest sous chefs are Carly, Maddie, and Claire, and they are all from Sweden. We're making a Swedish homemade dish, and it's called buttermilk pancakes. Today, because we're making Swedish buttermilk pancakes, our ingredients are eggs, baking powder, butter, buttermilk, salt, flour, and sugar.
Pancakes, we used a gas range stove. In order for the flame to light, a combustion reaction has to happen. The three things needed for this are energy, fuel, and oxygen. A combustion reaction occurs when a compound and an oxidant combine to produce heat in a new product. The stove we will be using is fueled by propane, C3H8. A gas stove has a small valve that connects on the main gas line. When you turn the knob of the stove, gas enters through the gas line, and as it travels through, the pipe becomes narrower and the pressure increases. As the pipe widens again, the pressure releases and oxygen combines with the propane, making the gas combustible. It has become combustible due to the fact that we have combined a compound, the propane, with the oxygen and oxidant. To start the reaction, we now need a spark to produce heat in another product. The turning of the knob causes a spark which lights the combustion gas, therefore producing a flame. This produces heat, water, and carbon dioxide. The heat being given off by the flame is what is cooking our pancakes. This is the combustion equation for propane.
Feel radiation off the stove. You can feel the heat traveling through nothing to get to your hand. Second, we have conduction. Conduction is heating the bottom of the pan, which is then heating the pancake and cooking it.
You can see the liquid started very thin, but as heat is added, the liquid is starting to thicken and rise as a result of leavening. Pancakes are known for having a light and fluffy texture. A leavening agent is an ingredient that is added to doughs and batters with the intent of producing gas bubbles inside the dough, causing the substance to expand and rise. The baking powder is used for the leavening in pancakes that makes the batter rise and the pancakes fluffy. Baking powder is a dry substance. When a dry leavening agent comes in contact with moisture, heat, or acidity, the leavening agent reacts to produce gas air bubbles. Baking soda and baking powder are both used as leaveners, but what type of leavener you use is dependent upon the other various ingredients in the recipe. Baking soda is made up of sodium carbonate. Because there is no acid in the baking soda, there must be an acidic ingredient in the recipe that causes the batter or dough to rise. Baking powder is a leavening agent that contains baking soda, an acidifying agent, and a drying agent, so only moisture is needed to instigate the reaction. Baking powder has a neutralizing effect on the taste of your final product. You use baking powder when there is no acidic ingredient in the recipe. There is no acidic ingredient in the pancake recipe. Baking powder is exposed to heat and moisture, carbon dioxide is released. When the pancake is placed on the hot pan, the baking powder reacts with the heat and CO2 is released, causing the pancake to rise.
When cooking or eating a pancake, it is necessary to be aware that pancakes contain proteins. It is necessary that we understand this because then we can understand what nutrients our bodies are receiving and we can stay healthy and strong. The buttermilk pancake we made contains about 9 grams of protein. The protein came from both the large egg and the buttermilk. Some templates recommend eating as much as 90 grams of protein a day. Some of the reasons we need proteins in our everyday diet is because they maintain the tissues in our bodies and are also used to build our cardiac muscle. Proteins are made up of hundreds and thousands of little molecules called amino acids. These amino acids are attached to each other in long chains. 20 different types of amino acids exist and they are combined to make a protein. The protein is made up of 4 different structures: the primary structure, linear arrangement of amino acids; the secondary structure, areas of folding or coiling inside a protein; the tertiary structure, 3-dimensional structure of a protein; and finally the quaternary structure, the binding of multiple polypeptides into one single and larger protein. In our pancake, the main source of protein came from the egg and buttermilk we added. During our cooking process on the stove, something very interesting occurred as heat was added to our batter. This occurrence was the denaturization of the protein from our egg and buttermilk. What happens during the denaturizing process is the normal alpha helix and beta sheets in a protein are disrupted, causing them to uncoil into random shape. When heat was added to the protein in our batter, the kinetic energy of the molecules increased so much it caused the molecules to vibrate rapidly, disrupting the bonds. That is how the protein inside our buttermilk pancake denatured.
Here we have the denaturization of a protein.
Then we decided to make a topping for the pancakes using heavy whipping cream and confection powdered sugar. Whipping cream is a very common Swedish topping. The type of leavening of whipped cream is different than the type of leavening in pancakes because the gas bubbles are created through beating and whipping the solution. This is a form of natural leavening. As the heavy whipping cream is whipped at high speed, gas bubbles are created, causing the solution to thicken and rise, making thick, homemade Swedish whipped cream.